Now, if we head back to our dashboard, um, a very core critical part is rooms. Um, it's at the core of everything regarding your agents, telephone in the running rooms. You probably would want a quick check as to whether everything is working or running. And particularly in your room's dashboard, um, there is an option to be in demo mode or sandbox mode or production mode. For a quick brief check, as I illustrated, you have enough minutes to run this. For sandbox and production needs special subscription stuff. So for Jet in sandbox mode, as a quick demo, if for instance, um, we do the option of creating a room. I'm just gonna create sample room as a demo. If you hit the create room endpoint, I'm gonna skip this and start a new meeting. What you mostly need is just your display name, the name to display in your meeting room. And I'm gonna use a name of say um test name, tester, just as a demo. And I can just proceed to, you have a couple of options you would probably want to configure. I'm just gonna proceed with confirm, and you should have a meeting created for you that you can scan if you're using any of MediaSFU's SDK, or just proceed with click here to get to the endpoint. So if I hit click here, it takes me to MediaSFU room from which uh, you can use your regular mic camera and any other control things you will need. So for example, I have my camera on. I'm having something of such display. Now, if I'm to go back to my dashboard, you're gonna see the call live in there. So if I go here and I go to my dashboard in the new tab, just briefly, you are going to get the live call ongoing being logged here. If you want to control things like end event and the like, you can just do from here. The call logs, see more details with joining passcode for the host, and almost everything you will need. So this is a quick just demo of just room creation, just as a test to make sure everything works for you. I'm just gonna go to the meeting side and then end the event. So just going to end this event, then go back to my dashboard. So now this is of limited usage for your telephoning or for you're building your custom application. You probably surely want to know how to do this via MediaSFU's API, and your docs on creating a room, which is central to your application, is um, on our your docs, your developer guide. If you hit developer endpoint, you have one for your room creation and joining room docs. Um, for probably 99% of users, this is all you ever need to do because they cover your HTTP requests requirements and how to follow the logic. Many other things regarding media connection, media production are kind of low level implementation. So if you probably have an experience with something like MediaSoup, you would want to do something like this. But if you are using any of MediaSFU SDKs, then this is all handled by the SDK. You just have to know how to use the SDK. So if you want guide on that, developers, you go to Kickstart tutorial. You have something on the usage of MediaSFU's SDKs. Um, if you want something more, probably about 2 to 3 hours of practice with videos, then you can go to MediaSFU's sample project, which we call Spaces Tech. It just shows you how to use MediaSFU's SDK in it's kind of no view mode, and then uh, like a high view mode. So if you go to developers and then you go to uh, AI agents app, that also gives you a view of using MediaSFU SDKs. Essentially, it's all about how do I render MediaSFU's UI with some kind of display or without some kind of display. So that's a very good point. Another great point is MediaSFU's specific project. So if I hit um, GitHub, MediaSFU, and you go to the Spaces Tech project. It's an orchestration of initial, final, and advanced. Um, you're going to have all resources you ever need, particularly you want to care about how to take a look at MediaSFU React.js, for example, um, how you control your mic, you start control your mic, how you control your camera, and then how you render the audio or the video elements in your project. So at a high level, this is just a software reference to people who are using MediaSFU SDK uh, at a point of level. In your telephony application, you might never encounter this. That is, if your application is solely based on a SIP caller or somebody putting into your system in your AI agents, MediaSFU adds your AI agents to the meeting room. So never have to worry about how to join the room. If you are building something custom on that, if you have a different UI, you probably would want to know if the human needs to join. How does the human get connected? The simple, easiest case, it's probably to embed an iframe. So if you go to an iframe embedding, there is a guide on how to just put your API key and API username, how to create a room or how to join an existing room, and then use MediaSFU's UI that you just saw. It's unbranded, and then probably maybe it as a small view in your custom application. So briefly, as a high-level summary, you probably never need to use MediaSFU SDKs if you are solely building telephony agents that will never get humans involved in the flow. If you are doing telephony agents that involves kind of human interaction, then at a high level, you probably would want to use MediaSFU's iframe, which is just quick, fast to get started. And then if you're doing something much more advanced, you're building really like a VoIP app or mobile, Flutter, React Native, and the like, you probably want to use MediaSFU's SDK and know how to use that in the background in your app. And very good projects are Spaces Tech project with video guide on it. And on the side, you have the agent apps, agent apps, which kind of shows MediaSFU example of using MediaSFU's SDK. And just as a clear note, it's nothing to do with telephony.